So picture this. Your AC completely dies. And it is like the middle of a brutal summer heat wave. You've got crying kids, and the repair guy just hands you this bill for $300. For a lot of people, that is, well, it's a massive crisis.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Sirens blaring, pure panic mode. But for others, it's really just a yawn and a check.
Exactly. And in this deep dive, we are looking at why that is. Because that gap between a panic attack and a yawn is, well, it's an emergency fund.
Right. I mean, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau officially calls it a dedicated cash reserve for unplanned shocks. But in practice, it's just a buffer. It stands between a bad event and a really bad financial decision.
Yeah, I look at it as a financial shock absorber. Because you are inevitably going to hit potholes in life. That's a given. But with this cash, you don't completely total your car.
I love that analogy. And you'd think you need this massive war chest to actually feel secure, right? But the data shows something completely different.
Wait, really? What does the data actually say?
Well, Vanguard found that having just $2,000 saved gives you this 21% boost in your overall financial well-being.
Wow. Just $2,000.
Yeah, just $2,000. It drastically drops your baseline stress, like completely, regardless of your income or your actual debt levels.
I guess because it shifts your brain out of survival mode. It actually reminds me of that Dave Ramsey example.
Oh, the AC repair story.
Yeah, exactly, where he contrasts being totally broke and facing that broken AC versus having a fund. When you have the cash, the crisis literally just becomes an inconvenience.
It really does. And there are so many vivid stories about this. Like Her Money shared the story about a woman named Catherine.
Oh, right. I read about her. She lost her job and needed surgery in like the exact same month, right?
Yes. And because she had savings, she didn't just survive it. She actually used that flexibility to pivot and eventually start her dream art business.
That is incredible. And there was also Beth Ann, who used her funds so she could travel to get specialized orthopedic care for her disabled son.
Right. And the secret mechanism working behind the scenes there is liquidity. When your money is completely tied up, panic dictates your choices.
Oh, for sure. You take the first terrible job you find, or you just slap that medical bill on a credit card with like 25% interest.
Which just makes everything worse. Liquid cash buys you time. You get to make rational long-term decisions instead of desperate short-term ones.
Okay, but let me push back a little bit here. Pulling away thousands of dollars sounds great, obviously. But what if you were living paycheck to paycheck?
That so many people are.
Right. So if rent and groceries are eating up 95% of your income, finding $1,000 feels like an absolute pipe dream.
It really does feel impossible. And that feeling of overwhelm is exactly why aiming for a massive, 3 to 6 month fund on day one usually fails.
So what is the alternative for beginners?
The behavioral hack is to set a much smaller target. Just aim for a $1,000 starter fund to begin with.
Just 1,000. Okay, but how do we actually find that?
You look for tiny, immediate margins. It could be redirecting a one-time tax refund or maybe just cutting out a $50 workly habit.
See, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because relying on human willpower is, well, it's a terrible saving strategy.
No, it's the absolute worst.
Right. If I have to consciously choose not to spend that $50 every single Friday, eventually decision fatigue kicks in and I am going to cave.
And that is exactly where automation steps in. You have to bypass our flawed human impulses entirely.
Like that couple, Jermaine and Christina.
Yes. They managed to save $50,000 in 5 years on completely normal salaries.
Which is wild. How did they actually do it without going crazy?
They didn't do it by being hyper-disciplined every single day. They literally just set up automatic transfers the very second their paychecks hit.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. If the money isn't sitting right there in your checking account, your brain simply does not factor it into your spending power.
It's like you're tricking your own brain into artificial scarcity. The money is there, but it is walled off. But let's look past just fixing water heaters and AC units. How does a pile of cash in a savings account actually lead to building long-term wealth?
Well, first, it breaks the cycle of high-interest debt. You can't compound wealth if you are constantly paying exorbitant interest to a credit card company.
Every time your car breaks down, yeah.
Right. Plus, having cash lets you do preventive maintenance. If you can afford a $50 oil change today, you avoid a $2,000 engine replacement next year.
That makes so much sense. You actually experience fewer emergencies over time because you can afford to maintain your life.
Exactly. It's proactive instead of reactive.
So to summarize, by delaying gratification just a little bit up front, you get lower baseline stress, fewer actual crises, and you plug the leaks that keep you trapped living paycheck to paycheck.
It really proves that winning with money isn't a math problem. It is maybe 20% head knowledge and 80% behavior.
Because the math of transferring $50 a week is super simple.
Right. But managing the person in the mirror, overriding that urge to spend what we see in our account, that is the real challenge.
So here's a final thought for you to mull over. Look at your own spending patterns this week.
Yeah.
What is one small daily or weekly expense you could cut? And then automate into your brand new emergency fund starting tomorrow.
It's a great question. You really have to let your money take the hit so you don't have to.
Exactly. Build that shock absorber, hit the pothole, feel a little bump, and just keep driving. Drop your automated savings ideas in the comments below, and we will see you next time.